A new animal care facility is opening in Northampton, and with the lack of animal specialty hospitals in the area, it's huge for residents in Western Mass.
Western Mass News reporter Libby James is getting answers on what this center will offer.
Western Mass News is getting answers about a new veterinary hospital that is currently under construction. Integrity Veterinary Care, located on Pleasant Street in Northampton, is expected to open next month. With construction in full swing, we spoke with owner and medical director Martha Maloney-Huss, who tells us the hospital will focus on specialty care.
If you have a pet that has an unusual medical problem or a problem requiring specialty care, that's where our facility is a real key player.
We also spoke with Erica Mueller, the emergency critical care specialist at the veterinary center, who will be performing ultrasounds which are much needed in the area.
Availability of ultrasound is fairly limited. My goal is to get them in same day to next day so we can move forward with finding out what's going on.
When we asked when the facility would be fully up and running,
So right now we're obviously under construction. We're opening the hospital in 2 phases over time.
the first services they'll offer will be medical oncology, urgent care, outpatient ultrasound, and internal medicine. And the rest of the building is expected to be open in the spring, with operating rooms, a full ICU, and other expanded areas. This center is expected to fill a need closer to home for pet owners in Western Mass.
Those are treatments that are not as easily available through a primary care facility. A greater need for these specialty care options, and we're thrilled to be able to provide them.
Construction is planned to be wrapped up by October 10th to welcome new patients. In Northampton, Libby James for Western Mass News.